Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to make a pop-up card with you. I cannot stop making these cards. I really enjoy making them. They are really good fun to make and they look so cute when they're done, and they work for any age group. So I've already made and given one to my friend who is roughly my age, and then I have made another one for my cousin's daughter who funnily enough is turning 3. For this one I've used a Hell's Coupled Itch collection. This is Gift of Giving, and when you open it up, look at that, isn't that cute? But as I say, it works for any age group. So today I thought I would use my Spring Celebration kit from Hunkydory. This was a members free gift last year and I recently did a video using it and everyone loved it, so I thought I would do another one. And because I was making a pop-up card today, I thought I'd bring you along with me. Now, as I've said, these are really easy to make, so they are perfect for someone who is just starting out and maybe has quite a few of these kits and wants to do something a little bit different. The base of the card is going to be made using a Craft UK 6x6 card blank. So first thing I'm going to do is to fold and burnish along the score line so I can see exactly what I'm doing. And the next thing I need to do is choose what I want to come as my pop-up inside the card. Now when I do these, I tend to do these tent fold style, so it sits like this, but you can do it any way you want. And I have decided that I'm going to use this topper here. It's a really lovely cake with Easter eggs on top, and I'm just going to check that it will fit, and it will. So this is what's going to be my pop-up feature in the card. It's going to sit like that, and even when it's folded down it will just fit, so perfect. A really quick tip for you when you're using these pop-out pieces from the Hunkydory kits, if you're only using 2 of the pieces, you can see they're die cut already. If you pop sellotape on the back, it's just going to hold them together and stop them coming apart when they're on your project if you're doing something like this where you need it to stand up. So I will be adding tape to this a little bit later. Now I'm going to grab in a pencil and a ruler, and I'm going to close the card, and I'm going to be working along the fold line here. The first thing I'm going to do is to measure in, in inches, 1 3/4 inches. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm just putting a mark on the top piece there. And then I'm going to measure down from this line 1 1/4. I'm going to put a little mark. I'm going to do the same on this one. Now I'm going to join all of those lines up. I'm going to use my T-square ruler to do this, just to make sure I'm nice and straight, but if you don't have one, just use your regular ruler. There you go, I've joined all those lines up, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some long blade scissors, and I'm just going to cut down these lines. So the card's opening away from me, and I'm going to come down this one here till I reach the join line, and I'm going to do the same this side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab in a score tool. I'm going to turn the card round and grab a ruler, and I'm just going to score along this little line we've just drawn here. Now you don't want to cut that line because that is going to form part of your pop-up mechanism. It kind of holds it in place, and if you were to cut along that line, you would just have a card blank with a hole in the middle basically. So we score this one to help with the mechanism. Open up the card and we're going to do the same inside. There we go. And now what we're going to do, we're going to hold our card open like this and we're going to push from the back on this piece here so it comes through like that, and then we're going to close the card. There we go, and that gives us our pop-up piece. Just bring back the topper, sit it against it, and then close your card. Just make sure that you can't see your focal point now that it's closed, because this is jutting out. This is what makes this pop up. So you want to make sure that when you've cut this part, you put this against it and close it. You don't want to see that focal point sticking out anywhere around the card, which I can't, so we can move ahead. So really quickly, I'm just going to burnish all these fold and score lines. Perfect. Now we're going to decorate the inside of our card. So I've actually chosen these papers here to come on the inside, and this is from a loved craft pad that I've had for so long and I haven't used, but I just thought they kind of fit with the Easter theme, because I don't know about you, but growing up, Nan always got the ice gems out at Easter. I didn't see them before Easter, so I thought I would use these as the decoration for the inside of my card. Now, these are 6x6, but as you can see, there is overhang because it's a Craft UK card blank. They're not true to 6x6, so we're going to need to cut this down slightly. So I'm going to grab my pencil again, and I'm just going to mark here where the edge of my card is. It's that simple. And I'm going to lay the card flat. Line it up against this side and do the same on this side. Easiest, quickest way to do it. So I'm going to trim that down and I'll be right back. So now this is going to fit perfectly on here, but we need to cut a space for our pop-up piece to fit into so that it just slides on. So we know the measurements we did for this was 1 1/4 and 1 3/4. So we're just going to change those measurements by maybe 1/8 of an inch. So we'll measure in by 1 5/8, and we'll put a little mark here. And we will do exactly the same on this side. And then we're going to measure down from those marks to 1 3/8. And the same on this side here. And then we're going to join all of those up and cut down them again. Grab our scissors and cut those out. This time we are going to cut along the joining line. Now that will fit perfectly in there. You will have a small border, but once your topper is on there, you're not going to notice that so much. That will go like so. So really quickly, just rub out your pencil lines. Now, one thing to mention is this is directional paper, and I have the same directional paper going at the top of the card. So what we want to do now to make this one fit on the top is flip this one that we've just cut upside down, line it up. We are going to mark here and here, so we know where to cut to trim our cardstock down, because we haven't actually trimmed our pretty papers yet. And then we're going to draw very lightly around the box, so we know where we are cutting. And by doing it this way, the top piece will now fit onto our pop-up mechanism, and our DSP will be the correct way when we put it on. So I'm just going to get those trimmed down and cut out, and I will be right back to you. So that's the bottom of my card and the top of my card ready to go. So I'm going to get those stuck down, and then I'll be right back to you. Okay, so that is my papers stuck on. Card is closing nicely, so it's time to put our topper onto the back. So the first thing I'm going to do is just pop some sellotape on to stop this coming apart. And now all I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add the glue directly onto this piece here. And I'm just going to pop my topper straight on there and stand it up, make sure it's all good, then close it down and hold it shut. I've just got to wait for that to dry. Now while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to prop it up with the sellotape. I'm going to get the bits for my sentiment ready. And this is great for using up those scrap bits of white or cream card that you might have held on to when you've done other projects. I have a scrap piece here, and it's just the right width that it won't look out of place. So mine is about 2¼ inches in width. So I'm actually going to trim this down so that it's about 5¾ in length, and we'll see how that looks. Okay, so that's trimmed down to 5¾ I think it's just a little bit too long, so I'm just going to trim it down a little bit more. Okay, so that's much better. That's now trimmed down to 5½, and I think that looks a bit nicer with the border. The next thing we're going to do is stamp my sentiment before I go any further, and to do that I'm going to use this apple blossom stamp set, which I have had for, it must be at least 3 years, and I've never used it. How bad is that? So I think I'm going to use the Happy and the Easter and just put it across the middle here. I'm going to use my VersaFine ink to stamp my sentiment, so I will get that done and be right back to you. That's the sentiment all stamped out. I could not resist those little chicks. I just thought they'd look so cute going across the bottom of the sentiment. I had to use them. Once I had stamped my sentiment and got it ready, I thought, you know what, I want to map that onto something else so it's not just sat on the paper. So I've gone through my paper pad and I have found this piece here, which I've then cut down. There's about 1/8 of an inch border all the way around, and then I've just put it all down on the cardstock using some wet glue. The nice thing about this paper as well is the ice gems are actually in really straight lines, so it helps you line everything up perfectly. This is now dry. As you can see, when I shut the card, you can't see the topper, you can't see anything sticking out, so we can move on and finish the card. The first thing we're going to do is grab another one of these 6x6 card blanks and fold and burnish along the score line. And now it's really simple. All we're going to do is stick this one inside and glue it in, and that will form our lovely card base, and you won't see the opening for our mechanism, so you will have no clue when you take this out of the envelope that it's going to pop up. So let's grab some glue, and we're going to put the glue directly onto this part here. Now just be careful you don't get too close to the edges, you don't want the glue seeping through. Just butt it straight up to the score lines and close it in on itself, and you can just hold it down and then flip it to the back and do the same on this piece here. And there you go. Our card pops up, looks really pretty. So now we just need to decorate the front of our card. Now to do this, I'm actually going to be using some of my offcut. And I have this really pretty piece here, which is an offcut from a card I made previously. But it should fit pretty well on the front here, it's just the right size. But I kind of also want to use this piece here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it down, and then I'm going to trim this piece separately. Okay, so this is where I'm at right now. Here is the top piece, I've trimmed it off, and I have this piece left. So what I'm going to do, bearing in mind that my card opens this way, I'm going to sit this on the bottom of the card. It fits perfectly on the card base. I'm going to hold it in place, flip it over, and then I'm just going to grab my pencil and draw straight along the top here. And I'm going to trim that down. So let's do that and I'll come back. Okay, so here's the two pieces. My card's that way, so that's going to sit nicely there. It's just the right size. Now I just need to decide where I want this. I kind of saw it going like that. But let's grab in my toppers and see how this is all going to come together. So this is the topper I really wanted to use because it matches in so well with the colours on the Easter eggs. And I see it here, but then I don't like the band at the top. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is move this down, break up the pink a bit because there's quite a lot of pink up there. And we'll set this just on here like that. I really like that. And then I have a load of flowers that I've pulled from my stash. I also have all these ones that I went crazy making recently, which could go for decoration here. So I'm just going to play around a bit off camera, see what I come up with, and then I'll come back and show you the finished card. Okay, so this is where I'm at right now. I've stuck the Easter egg cardstock onto our card base. I've used the offcut of the yellow band across the middle to break up the pink. I've then used wet glue to attach the topper. This topper also came from the same kit. I just thought it needed a sentiment of some kind on the front, and I thought the purples worked with the purple from the Easter egg down here. And I really like this flower. I think this was sent to me in Happy Mail, and I've just kept hold of it and kept hold of it, but I think it really worked on the front of this card. It is still drying, so I just need to be a little bit careful. Now, as the finishing touch, I'm really tempted to use Nuvo drops on the front. This is Sweet Lilac, and I think it really complements the colour of the cardstock. So I think I'm just going to dot a few around here and there, just to finish off. I find it very easy to get carried away when I'm using Nuvo drops. They're just far too pretty. So now I'm just going to tap the back to help those set nicely. And that finishes the card. So obviously those are still wet, so I'm going to have to be very careful how I do this, but we open it up and there is our pop-up. So there we go, that is the finished card. I really hope you've enjoyed the video today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of the card in the comment section below. I'd absolutely love to know, and let me know if you're planning on giving it a go. I really hope everything's made sense as I've gone along, and I hope it's given you some inspiration on how to use these Hunkydory kits, because you can make fun fold cards out of those beautiful kits. If you've enjoyed this video or found it useful, please hit the thumbs up button, and if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and help my channel grow. I will be back soon with more videos, so until next time, take care and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.